Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. My name is Mitchell Morgan and today we are back with another of the World Circuits race challenges. Today we're going to be heading back to Laguna Seca, but we're going to be taking on the World Touring Car 700 challenge, which is the next in the three that we needed to do after the menu books. We need to pick a car, and I'm going to go with the BMW VGT that I like so much, and you'll see there that the performance points is flashing because we are over. So I'm going to go to my grinding settings, and I'm just going to go to soft tyres, but I think that's going to take us over the performance points, which it is. So we're going to need to come back out of there and into medium, and that should put us just under the 700. So we qualify for this particular race. We've got fuel consumption rate and tyre wear, both look like they are in play, so we need to take care of that. But before we do anything else, let's get off to the race at the World Touring Car 700 WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for 10 laps of this wonderful track with that fabulous corkscrew corner. Let's see if we can get gold here in the same way that we did in the last race, which was fairly easy, but this time we're up against some pretty stiff competition. We've got Aston Martin, Supras, we've got Vipers, we've got all sorts in this particular one. Now I did say that we have got fuel consumption on in this race, so I set my power setting to 3 and we'll just see what happens with the laps remaining. I'd like to get that up to around about 10 if we can. You'll also notice as we are trying to work our way through this traffic, just going up the inside of the Alfa Romeo there and getting on the back of the Ferrari, you'll notice that for a lot of these corners I'm taking them in 3rd gear, whereas the game is suggesting 2nd gear. Following the recent updates, I tend to find that a lot of these cars are more settled and happier in 3rd gear going through the corners, in particular if we can apex them and then drift out to the right hand side. Obviously if we are in traffic, that will be a little bit different. You'll notice that my gears choices are a little bit different to what the game is suggesting from time to time. So go over the top here. I'm looking for a clean race bonus, so I'm trying not to get into the back of the cars, but I did cut that corner again at the top of the hill, all 4 wheels on the green Astro, which is probably going already on the 1st lap. Again, cut the corner on that one and a slight knock of doors as we went through, so this is not the most tidiest of races thus far. Up into 16th place, we are a cool 24 seconds away from the leaders, so there are quite a few laps to go, but also quite some distance to make up. Well, what is that Porsche doing? It's weaving around all over the place and not quite sure where he was going to go. We have smacked the back of the Porsche, loads of bits falling off my car, and you can see damage to the knee side rear of the Cayman. I don't know what he was thinking about there. I've never seen that before racing on these particular races with the AI cars. They tend to stick to their line pretty well. So is this something that's new following the updates? Who knows? If it is, that is going to make life very interesting and certainly a little bit more enjoyable if we're going to have to put up with some shenanigans of that type. So let's get it settled down. We've got a nice run of cars in front of us on lap 2 at the moment, making some headway but not an awful lot on the leaders, so we're going to need to get through this traffic and then get moving, hoping that some of these cars are going to be coming in for a pit stop. We're sitting at 7.6 laps remaining at the moment on power level 3. I don't want to back off the power level too much more than that, so we'll be doing some early upshifting and doing some fuel saving through use of the gears and acceleration. So up into 3rd place now, in amongst this little gaggle of cars, watching again the power rating at the moment rather than the radar, because I am minded that we need to be able to fuel save to get this car to the end. Not doing too bad on that at the moment. That's the Honda NSX undertaken, and we've now got the Mustang which we're going to undertake through that corner, and then get on the back of the Subaru. Bit of a slide there as we're trying to get the power down. Purple sector, which is nice. You can see how hard we're pushing. Going to get the Subaru down the inside into this corner, possibly round the outside or then underneath on the Mitsubishi. Or a little bang of doors on the way through there. I think that probably the clean race bonus has gone. So for now, with the leaders still 20 seconds, over 20 seconds ahead of us, we're not making too much headway on the leaders, and laps are counting down. So we are going to need to either get the strategy right, or we're going to need to get on with this, get through this traffic, and push on. So opening doors where we can, and just continuing to push. As I said, a lot of these corners I'm tending to take in third gear rather than the second gear that the game is suggesting. As with that one, I'm finding the car is a lot more balanced and a lot more manageable. Slowing it down into second gear as we come up behind the Aston Martin, knowing full well the Aston would be slow through there, so we chose second gear. Up into third, up into fourth, up into fifth as we go across the line to start the fourth lap. And then when you get slowed down on those brake marks, those skid marks in the track there, to make sure that we don't run into the back of the BMW through that double left-hand apex. And now we're looking at where we can get up the inside of the BMW again, just opening the door. We left the door open ever so slightly, then we nudged it open a little bit more as we went through there. Third gear over that corner, up to fourth. Looking for the Mother's Bridge, just as we go underneath that, we'll hit the brake pedal, just balancing the brake pedal as we go through that corner, up in using third gear, up into fourth. Underneath this bridge, we'll brake a little bit more, getting it down to third gear. I'm not even braking full amount there, so we can probably brake a little bit later, but third gear is quite nice through there, and it does enable us to carry quite a lot of speed up the hill. Getting it slowed down as we got over the top. A little snatch to second, then up into third to go through the corkscrew rather nicely, bring it across to the right hand side to sweep across, again using third gear as we come down to this penultimate last corner. Third gear through there. As we head towards the last corner, we're going to bury the brake pedal on the 3 marker board, second gear to get turning, and then acceleration down. We start finish straight to start our 5th lap. We have made some headway on the leaders. Whilst we've been in some clear air, we got up to 15 seconds behind. That is still quite a distance behind, bearing in mind we are now a third of the way through this lap, so we are going to need to continue to push. But you can see, looking at the timings here, that in clear air we are actually making some headway on the leaders. 4 seconds to the 6th place in front of us. Our lap times have been pretty consistent. We've got a 130, a 130, a 129, 129. So that is quite nice. Consistency is good within this game. And as we come underneath the bridge, we're going to bury the brake pedal again, just feathering it through that corner. I feel I can brake a bit later through there. Watching this one back, I do feel as if I can brake a little bit harder, but we are on the hard settings. We know this isn't going to be easy. It's certainly not looking to be as easy as the Camaro was in the first race that I did in the last video. So pushing pretty hard in this BMW car that I absolutely adore. One of my favourite cars in my collection at the moment. Or a little bit too deep. We got a little bit too into the Super, possibly a little bit of slipstream, possibly a little bit of dirty air. Thought we were going to rear end and then managed to keep out of that, but we're now going to need to set ourselves up for an overtake into the first corner. Again, that car weaving around a little bit, not as much as the Porsche, but we were ready for it this time, and we get that move done, and we are now looking to try and get this G70 through this corner. Come on, Genesis, out of the way. We're going to go up the inside into this particular corner. We've got the line. A little bit of a bounce over the sausage there. Unsettled the car slightly, but we've got that move made. And that's 4th place with 10 seconds of clean air. No, he comes back underneath us. Oh, we get the switcheroo as we go up the hill. We went a little bit deep. This AI cars are really fighting back on this hard setting. That was really cool. Enjoyed that. So the Genesis came back at us as we went into the corner. He outbroke us with the inside line. Managed to just switch back underneath him, and then I think that is job done with him over a second behind us. Whilst we're squabbling, we've let the third place car get 11 seconds ahead of us, so we're really needing to push now. Thankfully, I'm narrating this one after the fact because this was taking all of my concentration to try and watch every braking point, every turning point. Using second gear for that last corner now, just to get some drive off the corner and also to get the turn in. We've got a few cars that are pitting, which is brilliant news. A quick look at the fuel situation. We've got 3.5 laps. That should be fine. We're on lap 7 at the moment. That is for full laps. So with a little bit of fuel saving, hopefully we'll be able to complete this race with the fuel load that we've got. Bear in mind we are still 11 and 12 seconds away from the two cars in front of us, so needing to push on as much as we can, watching every braking point, every turning point, every acceleration point to try and narrow that gap. At this point with lap 7, I really am desperate for the first and second place cars to hit ahead of me at this point, because we're not really closing down on them fast enough with this fuel setting. I can't change the fuel setting at the moment because even with a little bit of fuel saving, we are only just keeping enough fuel in. They're pitted. That's brilliant news. Now, can we get through this corner and get out before they exit the pits? If we can get ahead of them, that will be brilliant news. Maybe we can manage the race from there. So second gear, get the power down as soon as we can down this straight. Looks like they're still in the pits. We've now taken first place. That's great news. The strategy is working. Braking as we go across those skid marks in the floor there. Third gear through this double left-hander. Just quickly up into fourth before we change down to third for this right-hander. Not really needing to take too many risks on the curbs at this point. We are ahead. It looks like the second and third place players are still in the pits at the moment. Long pit stops for them. Really surprising that they're still sitting there at this point. Third gear as we come around this corner to go up the hill. Still pushing on. We're 20 seconds ahead of the second and third place racers. That strategy has really played into our hands. So the BMW VGT, tuned for 700 performance points. We're doing 130s, 129s, there's a 128 in there, but fairly consistent on our lap times. Really getting to grips with this track now. And again, whilst it didn't look like it was, it looks like this is going to be a very easy win on the hard settings. When you start to look at this, there really is no need to worry about doing these on easy or even medium settings. These particular races, definitely hard. Whether that is going to be the same for some of the other World Circuit races, I don't know. Maybe we might not have a car that is quick enough. But for the moment, for these particular races at the Laguna Seca, the Camaro was perfect for the first race. The BMW VGT, superb for the second race. And then please join me for the third race, which I'm not quite sure what I'm going to run with in that one. Join me and find out. In the meantime, let's just enjoy the last half of the 9th lap before we start our final lap, number 10 of this 10-lap race. At this precise moment in time, we're quite comfortably ahead, 22 seconds, not taking any major risks. We've pushed the fuel saving right the way out to lean, as you will have noticed there. So that's giving us a comfortable fuel situation now. Over a lap, of fuel left as we come around for the final turn. We're getting a message on the screen there, 1.2 laps remaining, 1.1 as we come up to the final corner. That's potentially going to be 1 lap of fuel left as we go over the line with 1 lap to do. So being able to push it across to lean, position number 6 on the fuel map, is really good. There you go. As we cross the line, we've got 1 full lap left. We're probably going to have 0.2, 0.3 at the end of this lap with this power setting and with a bit of fuel saving, but it's always nice to know that you've got a little bit more in the tank than you need. I'm keeping it really easy right now. You can see that we're not really hitting the curbs too much. We're keeping more centrally in the track because we've got time, and there really isn't any point in risking a spin or any silliness like that. You can see that my lap time for lap number 9 was 1:32, so we have dropped off by a good 2 or 3 seconds as we've reduced the power settings, as we are employing this fuel saving. So as we go over the top of the corkscrew for the final time, 3rd gear through there in the BMW is really nice. Just keeping it more central to the track, just taking a bit of the corner there. Actually took that one in 4th gear, getting really confident with this car on this track. 3rd gear for that corner as we approach the last corner of the race. Down into 2nd, get it turned in, and then we'll get up into 3rd gear, climbing through the gears as we head towards the line. We've actually got a full half a lap of fuel left as we cross the finishing line. So a little bit conservative on the fuel management, but it really worked for that particular race. A nice, comfortable lead and 29 seconds over the Viper in 2nd place. We've got the gold trophy, a nice 110,000 credits, which will be more than welcome. No clean race bonus, unfortunately, on that one. I think I am still cutting the corkscrew a little bit too much, but we really want to get gold and 1st place in these races. So in the next video, we're going to be heading off to the Sunday Cup Classic. Please join me for that by clicking the bell for notifications of when I release that video. In the meantime, thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're new around here, please consider hitting that subscribe button to support me as I try and make my way to that magic 1,000 subscribers. For now, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.